So I'm doing a series on important characters and NPCs in D&D, and today we're starting off with one of the most important characters, or player characters, in early Greyhawk, and it's not Mordenkainen, it's Robilar. Robilar was played by Rob Kuntz, one of the original creators with Gary Gygax on D&D. As many people know, Robilar was part of the Citadel of Eight, the group that came before the Circle of Eight in early D&D. In terms of the history of Greyhawk, Robilar is considered one of the greatest fighters in the history of Greyhawk. He wields the Blade of Black Ice given to him by Mordenkainen, and it was said to be forged by Ayuz. And one thing that is important to note, Robilar was one of the earliest characters in D&D. As far as it's recorded, Robilar was the character that was created in the second ever session of D&D. Additionally, Robilar was one of the fastest growing characters in early D&D because of Rob Kuntz constantly wanting to play D&D with Gary Gygax, which led to him becoming the first ever 13th level player in Dungeons & Dragons. And during a lot of these solo sessions that Rob Kuntz had with Gary Gygax, Robilar quickly became a character who grew in both fame and fortune. And eventually he became the secret owner of the Green Dragon Inn, which became a information brokering type location for him. And one thing that's important to note, Robilar was also the first adventurer to get to the very bottom of the Greyhawk dungeons. And on his way to the bottom of the Greyhawk dungeons, he released a total of 9 demigods, including one being Ayuz from the God Trap, Celestian, and Hextor. And important thing to note, many of these demigods that he released later on became deities for Greyhawk. So he had a big hand to play in how Greyhawk would later develop in these early sessions. And then we get to the part of Robilar's story that involves the Temple of Elemental Evil, where things go completely off the rails. Gary Gygax designed this to be a dungeon for multiple people, his masterpiece at the time. And Robilar was so powerful, he tore through the dungeon by himself, and when he got to the bottom, he released Zuggtmoy, the demon. Yes, this Zuggtmoy into Greyhawk. Gary Gygax apparently was not a fan of how easily he tore through Temple of Elemental Evil and also releasing Zuggtmoy. So Robilar was chased out of the Greyhawk area by an entire army. Now this is where Robilar's story changes quite a bit, because this is the point where TSR starts to change ownership hands and management, and the story of all these characters and publications started to change. The next time Robilar was seen was in the novel Rary the Traitor, where Rary recruits Robilar, and they both end up betraying the Circle of Eight, the organization that came after the Citadel of Eight, of which Robilar used to be a part of. And this is where things start to get a little bit dicey on Robilar's history, because Rob Kuntz said that Robilar never would have betrayed Mordenkainen. He thought of Mordenkainen as a friend and was loyal to him. He would have not done such a thing to Mordenkainen or the allies with him at that time. And this is where the diciness gets played off as a retcon later on. And in a publication made by TSR, Expeditions into the Ruins of Greyhawk, it is revealed that Robilar had actually found an orb of opposition that summoned someone from a different Earth called Belaro. And Belaro, like Belaro's Iron Bands, ended up being the person that worked with Rary to betray the Circle of Eight. So that's where Robilar was last seen, exploring the ruins of Greyhawk when he was spotted by some adventurers in this module. So if you are someone who is getting into Greyhawk recently and you're looking for quest givers or NPCs that might be interesting to use in your stories, you could use Robilar in some aspect. Personally, I think Robilar serves as a great chance for players to meet an NPC/hero that is looking for redemptions for things they not only did in the past, but things that their evil doppelganger did as well. Additionally, you could use Robilar as a questline to try and re-imprison Zuggtmoy in the Greyhawk universe. You could even ask Robilar maybe for his Blade of Black Ice and use it to try and imprison Zuggtmoy in the Temple of Elemental Evil once again. But yeah, if you have any questions about characters from early D&D, I've been doing research on them, so if you have anything that you want to know or characters that you would like to see next, make sure to let me know in the comments. I'm Winter Blaze, and I'll see you next time.